Got Justin Johnson is yellow, and then Cornelius Smith is green, just to kind of so you can see the kind of the flow of things. And so, essentially, on November 2nd, we had Justin Johnson had 7 communications with the cellular device that belongs to Govan, and then he had 4 communications.
And I'm sorry, are these in chronological order on the date?
Correct.
Okay. So Justin communicated with Hernandez Govan, then he communicated with Anthony Mims, then he communicated with Govan again, then he communicated with Mims again, and then he communicated with Govan again.
Correct.
Okay.
And then, essentially, this is just those call detail records, but the actual call detail records, which it's got like service codes, tower information. You'll see it has a version of the IMEI. It won't give you the actual IMEI. They kind of do some equation where they change the last 2 digits so people can't steal the IMEI off the records and create their own kind of their own service or their own account. So, but it just gives you a little bit more information. It can tell you if the call is a voicemail, if there's multiple users on one call, if they're doing 3-way, and things of that nature. And then again, as you can see, you have Justin Johnson in the yellow, Cornelius Smith in the green, and essentially it just kind of shows the way they're cut, like who they're communicating with, and the kind of the flow in chronological order, how they're talking. So, as you can see, Justin Johnson had 7 with Hernandez Govan. Justin Johnson had 4 with Anthony Mims, and then he had 0 with Cornelius. And then Cornelius had 20 communications with Hernandez Govan, but he had 0 with Justin and 0 with Anthony Mims. And then this is just the actual raw records. It just depicts what that is. So at the top you have Justin Johnson's records, and then at the bottom you have Cornelius Smith's records. And again, another report showing that Justin Johnson had 7 communications with Hernandez Govan. On November 4th, he had 1 with Anthony Mims and 0 with Cornelius. And then Cornelius had 2 with Hernandez Govan, 0 with Justin Johnson, or Anthony Mims, and 0 with Justin Johnson. And then these are just again, you have Justin Johnson's records that you get from the cell phone company, and then you have Cornelius Smith's records that come with the cell phone company. Again,
For November 5th, 2020.
it's November 5th, and as you can see, it's harder for me to see, but in the yellow and the green, they're kind of throughout the day. But Justin Johnson has 1 communication with Hernandez Govan, 0 with Anthony Mims, and then he has 1 communication with Cornelius Smith. And then if you look on this side, Cornelius Smith has 4 communications with Hernandez Govan. He has 0 with Anthony Mims, and then of course 1 with Justin Johnson. And then these are those records that represent that. And then this is November 6th. You have Justin Johnson has 0 communications with Govan. He has 2 with Anthony Mims. He has 1 with Cornelius Smith. And then as you see, Cornelius Smith has 4 with Hernandez Govan, 0 with Anthony Mims, and then 1 with Justin Johnson. And then as you see, these are just the raw records representing those individual calls. Again, November 12th, You have 0 communications with Hernandez Govan. Justin Johnson. Yeah, Justin Johnson has 0 communications. He has 3 with Anthony Mims and 0 with Cornelius. And then Cornelius has 5 communications with Hernandez Govan. He has 0 with Anthony Mims and 0 with Cornelius Smith. And again, these are just the raw records that represent that report. And then November 15th, 2021, you have Justin Johnson has 0 communication with Hernandez Govan, is 0 communication with Anthony Mims, but he has 14 communications with Cornelius Smith. And then on Cornelius Smith, he has 2 communications with Hernandez Govan, is 0 with Anthony Mims, and then of course he has 14 communications with Justin Johnson. And then
Raw data.
this is just the raw data. And then November 17th obviously is the day of the homicide. So if we look at the hot number list on the day of the homicide, Cornelius Smith hot number list has 12 communications with Justin Johnson. It's about his fourth top caller. He has 11 with Hernandez Govan, and then he has 8 with Angela Arnold. And then if you look at Justin Johnson's, it's harder for me to read that, to be honest, because it's a little far if you don't mind me.
Get my glasses on. So.
Yeah, just as I can see that far, I guess, through the glass. So on the 17th, Justin Johnson has 15 communications with Govan. It's like his third down if you remove the voicemail. And then you have 12 with Cornelius Smith. You have 11 with Angela Arnold. And then on down, he has 3 with Hernandez Govan and only 1 communication over here on the right with Anthony Mims. So that is just further down the list.
Can you read that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is just going to be a call log, essentially taken from from Cornelius Smith's cellular device, and it's showing that he's communicating with Justin Johnson. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get down. It's too tight. It's an incoming call, and then as you can see, he's got his contact listed as Little Brud Drop. Interesting. This is an incoming call just prior to the murder, and as you can see, when you look at their raw records, both of their call detail records show their cellular devices on a cellular tower at 1731 Cherokee Boulevard, and they both have the same tower azimuth, which is just essentially a direction on the tower of like a sector. So it would be like a compass. So 290 would be like, we have cones. And so they're both pointing on the same sector of the same tower, which is approximately 3.9 miles away from 1766 Wild Rose Street, which is where Cornelius lives. And then this is surveillance video of the homicide with Cornelius and Justin Johnson in the photos. And you can see that's at 12:23:01 hours. And Justin will be on the left and Cornelius is on the right. And then Dolph's brother shooting at that vehicle. Here we're showing Cornelius Smith's physical phone extraction, showing that there was no outgoing communications during that time frame. So his last outgoing communication, and before the homicide, was here we're showing Cornelius Smith's physical phone extraction, showing that there was no outgoing communications during that time frame. So his last outgoing communication, before the homicide, was essentially, we had that incoming at 12:04, and then you see from that time period, it's all missed calls, and then he has an outgoing to Uncle Ron.
Let me stop you. The date on the top of this is August the 13th.
My bad.
Should that be November 17, 2021?
Yes, I apologize. It should be November 17th.
But the dates all here correlated.
Yeah, the dates are in the center, and as you can see, they have the times, and then below that, we have his call detail record. The records show so it shows right there at the 1804. So records come in UTC. So
what is UTC?
It's basically like universal time coordinated. So like they send the records, it's always going to be in that universal time coordinated. So we're in Central Time, so that would be, at this time period, it would be 6 hours back. Right now, it would be like 5 hours back. So it just compensates for daylight savings and things of that nature. So, because they're going to send those records all over whoever needs them. And so it's just easier for the companies to send them out as one format. And so, like you'll see on the phone, we've got it -6 on, and that's when I create those reports. I'm actually -6, and so it just makes more sense fluidly. And so at 1804, which really, it shows the incoming call, and then just a list of incoming calls, but then you also have some outgoing calls. But those outgoing calls are actually just the to his voicemail. And you can see on the far right, it's just like, so 02A would be like forwarding, which means the phone is on, it got forwarded. No reply means after a couple rings, there's other anomalies, like if the phone's off, it'll have a different code or a different service. November 17th at 12:26, Justin Johnson has a FaceTime Anthony Mims at 12:26, 3 or 4 minutes after the homicide. And then right here, 12:39, 07 hours, you have communications. At 12, one is an outgoing call. At 12, incoming text, and then at 12, their outgoing call, and then you can see that below. You look at the text 12. You go to the next slide. You can see 12:39. That text, which is just Keona 52 Haven Court, the address to her. And then later at 12:47, Justin Johnson sending 47 message to a Jermaine Sears, a number that belonged to Jermaine Sears. And at 12, Johnson sends another iMessage that says, now. And then you have a response at 12:47. sends an incoming text message that says on. So 5802 is when it begins, but you see SUV pull in to the two-lane apartments, or what's it? They got another name. The Gospel Garden Apartments. Then you see Justin Johnson next to Kiana Hooper, and then you see Cornelius Smith, who has the hoodie kind of draped over his shoulder. And they're going into Kiana Hooper's apartment. So this is going to be from Angela Arnold's cellular device, and this is going to be at 13:26, 30 hours. And as you see, she has an incoming call from Justin Johnson, 901-236-1625. It's a 19-second call. And then you have another incoming call at 13:28, 16 hours. It's a 12-second call. And then you have an instant message that comes in at 1:28:50 or 13:28:50 hours. And then below are the records that coordinate with that, with those, with her phone calls, and these are going to be her call detail records that are associated to her device. And then that text message, which was at 13:28:50, is again the address, which is 4752 Haven Court.
Justin Johnson sent this to Angela Arnold's phone.
Justin Johnson's device.
Justin Johnson's device.
Correct. For telephone number. Yes. Device. Yes. Again, here you see Angela Arnold's phone extraction. She gets another incoming call at 13:55:11, and it's a 29-second call. And then that's represented down here at the bottom for her call detail records. And then as you see, 13:56, Angela Arnold arrives in the black SUV at 4752 Haven Court. And I think you see him coming outside as Justin's in the middle with the yellow hoodie. Cornelius has the black hoodie with the black pants. And Keona's just right behind him, and then you see Cornelius get in the passenger side of Angela Arnold's vehicle. So now, November 17 at 14:07 hours and 15 seconds, Angela Arnold's cellular device showed an outgoing SMS message to a telephone number that belonged to Justin Johnson. That SMS message stated, "This is C, bruh. Send me, bruh, number so I can get my phone." That's then followed by another SMS message, which is at 14:13:21 from Angela Arnold's cellular device, and it says Quez number. Then we have November 9th, 2021, or 19th, I'm sorry. And this is just showing that Justin Johnson at 12 in the morning was searching, Cornelius Smith, was doing a Google search for 24-hour AutoZone.
12:17 in the morning, like
correct.
midnight.
Or no, 12:17 seconds. So at 12 in the morning. And then at 12:01 in the morning, you see Justin Johnson shows an outgoing call to a number or Cornelius. I'm sorry. Cornelius shows an outgoing call to AutoZone Auto Parts. that comes back to the AutoZone Auto Parts at 5945 Winchester Road. Again, you'll see
Cornelius.
at 12:09 or 0900 hours, Cornelius Smith's cellular device showed an incoming call that belonged to Justin Johnson, and he has the contact name labeled Little Bruh Drop. It's a 33-second duration call. Then at 12:10 a.m. or 1000 hours, you have Cornelius Smith's cellular device showing 3 outgoing calls to a telephone number that belonged to Hernandez Govan. And you can see again that's labeled bruh for the 901-618-3848 telephone number. And it's an outgoing call. It shows 2 minutes and 40-second duration. You have another outgoing call at 12:18. So the first one was at 12:10. The next one's at 12:18 a.m. It's a 1 minute and 9-second call. And then you have at 12:35 a.m. you have a 7-second duration call. It's an outgoing call. And then below are just the records that correlate with what was on his cellular device. Then on so 0647 hours or 6:47 a.m. Cornelius Smith's cellular device showed an incoming call from a number that belonged to Hernandez Govan, and that was 18 seconds long. And then those are the records that correlate with that communication. And then at 0701 hours or 7 a.m., Cornelius Smith's cellular device does a Google search for AutoZone on Lamar. Then at 0703 hours or 7:03 a.m., Cornelius Smith's cellular device showed an outgoing call to a telephone number that belonged to Hernandez Govan. There was no duration on that call, and as you see, like there's no duration on the records, and it does show like an abnormal completion, which could be a various of disruptions or problems that just correlates with that call. Again, it's 7:08 or 0700 hours, 8 or 7:08 a.m. He has another Google search, which is the universal car cover. And then later at 1847 hours, there's an image of an AutoZone receipt that's extracted from his phone, and you can see that the capture time was on 11/20/2021 at 6:47 p.m. And then we have December 2nd, 2021. And so Angela Arnold's cellular device showed an outgoing Instagram chat to Anthony Mims. And essentially it says, "What's up, big bruh? I'm trying to get with you. I'm Govan, little homie. You met me before. I'm trying to let you hear my music. If you don't mind giving me a call." And then he lists 901-370-0185, which is Angela Arnold's cellular device or her cellular phone number, and you see it's her Instagram chat for participants, and then at the above that is Jook the boss, which is his Instagram.